Hi guys, today we are going to see how to change color in a existing graph. So this is the biggest problem. As per the requirement, suppose if you want to change color of this bar, then you need to do lots of coding and lots of efforts required to select this bar and change this color. So I do the simple code, like the mapper. Suppose you want to change color of this fourth number axis, then enter 4, add this 4 into an list. Suppose you want to change one more color 2 for the second, then suppose 7, you can select multiple values, you can enter multiple value. I just create this list and pass this list to the mapper, like submit to change color. You can see the change color to 4, sorry, 2, 4 and 7. See here, 2, 4 and 7. As we select, pass first value is the 4, 4 as changes, then 2 changes, 7 changes, rest is as it is. So now today we will going to see how to do this type of programming, this type of changes in a card live graph. So we can see here, say write a mapper like this. Here I just make it as a red so that you can see clear. Default value is there. So I'm here going to explain the what we done. Before that I just run this again. Okay, these are the default values I taken to draw the graph. Suppose now I take 3. I want to change color for 6 also. I want to change color for 1 also. Add it. You just add these numbers. Now here, change the color. Okay. Now see the exact difference. This is the 1, then 3, then 6. Initially we take it as a 3, then 6 and 1 without affecting the previous value. As we change the color of your graph or the selected bar in live chart. Okay. So let's come into the UI part first. See, I'm just explaining what I done here, and at the end I will share the code and the logic how to do this so that you can easily copy and paste. But before copy paste, obviously we need to know the basics of this. We need to know the understanding. See, this is the graph, live graph. As I taken here Cartesian graph. To use this, you need to import the reference like live chart, live chart.wpf. You need to enter a you need to install a nugget for that nugget package. Now here, bind the labels to the x-axis. See, these are the x-axis. Okay, I take here maximum value is 10. You can put it as a 20, 80, 100 as per the requirement, as per your graph requirement. Then separator I take as a step 1 and stroke as a null. Here is the separator. Here I take as a 1 and stroke null. I am not assigning any value, not assigning any color to that separator. Okay, so this is the basic structure to draw the live graph. But beyond this, you need to bind series to the graph so that graph will understand what going to draw here. So here is the send chart. This is the series collection, sorry. Now here is the update source trigger, so that whatever the update happened beyond the code or your inside the code or database, whatever value you are going to pass to this same chart, you need to notify. So that's why here update trigger, that is the property change, and here is the two-way. We can skip this two-way also. We can use it one way. So this is your graph. Now here is the graph for here. The same chart, it will collect all the data here and pass to the UI. So let's see the logic for the same chart. Here Suppose I consider here I just mention the graph properties. Okay, so that you can easily understand. So this is the length I just put it, not graph property. Okay, now serial collection, that is the same chart. Whatever the values you want to display on your UI or on your graph, so serial collection is required. So this is the property from comes from the livechart.wpf. Once you import this live chart, then you can get access of this property. See, serial collection, then data values, so that whatever value you want to mention on your x-axis. So I take here one string and bind this string to your x-axis with some values. We will see later on how to import these values into this one. Then column series. Now fill. See, sender chart, it's a skeleton. Inside we need to fill the values. So the column series we use to fill that column series, fill that value with the help of chart values. Clear? These are the chart values. Chart values, this variable get the values, put it into an column series, and column series through send chart. So this is the basic thing. This is the formatter of your chart, and this is the steps. For the axis steps, we can take it 5, 10. That is the space between the bars. Okay, these are the properties of your graph. Now let's see initialization. As we use here, as we declare here, send graph, sorry, sender chart is the serial collection. So here we just initialize this serial collection, serial chart, or the sender chart. Now column series again. Now add this sender chart dot add to the from the column series. So column series, whatever data contained in the column series, send to the chart for the drawing purpose. Now chart values, here we initialize chart values, and then this chart values to the column series dot values. So the column series dot max width. So the width showing to the graph. See, and default color. Let's see here. Default color is red, and here is the distance between two bar. It's mentioned here. Sorry, width of this bar is mentioned here. Suppose I want to minimize this width, then I just change this maximum width values 30 to 20, 10, 5 as per the requirement. Then this brush dot red, this is the default color to your graph. With the red color, the default color, you can change this color by this fill brush dot red, brush dot anything, by changing this property. And the values, these are the data values as we mentioned here, the string data values. So this is the x-axis values. Now here I make the one enumerator for the 20 values. Here this is the function, just state the 20 values, and you can mention these values, how many values you want to print on the x-axis. Here I mention, here is the max value is 10, this, but it carry, this label is carry max value is 20. Now here I want to only 10 values, so here I mention as a 10. If you want to 20, then make as a 20. If you want to 30, then make as a 30. Depends on your requirement. Is it clear? This is the graph. Coming back, see here, these are the values. As I take, as I already explained you, told you, I'm taking default values. You can take it as per your database, as per the project requirement. Import these values into an list, to pass this list to the chart values dot range. If the chart values means your chart values here, and this chart values to the column series, and column series to the here, yes, this sender chart. Okay, sender chart dot well, this is the hierarchy. So here I just enter the 10 values I is equals to 1 to 10. Here I make it as a simple k variable because to increase this values, if you are not using k, then this graph shows like from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the y-axis. So it's too small. I want to increase the height of this value from the y-axis. So that's why I multiply this 10. So these are the 10 values in a items. This is the observable collection. Clear? Items, and items contain this graph. This is the okay. Let me explain later one item. Then here graph always take the values in a double, in a data type double. It does not take values like integer or directly string. You need to convert each and every value into a double data type. So that's why I convert here double, and I want to take the IDs. Is it clear? So these are the ID converted into n double, which has selected all IDs from your item observable collection and put it into an points. The variable name is points. Then I pass this variable or the pass this array to the add range. So at the end you get this type of default chart. Okay? If you have live values, then you can pass these live values to the observable collection, take the value which you want to show on the graph, then convert this value into a double and pass to the point, and the same logic is here. So in this way we can draw the simple graph. This is the live graph. Where live graph example, right now I'm taking the values with the help of for loop, but you can take these values from the live as per your requirement. So now come on the next. Then I declare one module, that is the item entries. Whatever entries you have, suppose name, ID, status, and anything, whatever data you have, just make it as one class. Okay? I name as a class name as a item entry. The notify property changes. Obviously, it required to notify changes to the live graph. Okay. Now I just take this use of this class is end here. Only declare the properties and use of these properties into your view model. Okay. So this is the declaration of your graph in the constructor of view model. Okay. Now coming to the UI. See, now this part is the drawing of graph. Now see, suppose you want to change the color of this selected bar. Okay, selected bar or on some condition. So you cannot directly change these colors with the help of your sender chart or the column series. You need to write some custom mapper. Mapper have some types. You can easily find it on the internet. You can just check the type of mapper and Cartesian map or the live graph. You can easily see the different type of mappers, but most of the time confusion is there. As they said, you can write the custom mapper. Clear? Custom mapper, then many of the people are taking the custom mapper like your var, the name, then is equals to xy dot mapper, then the class name. See, obviously it will be run, but the mapper is depend on what type of chart you are going to draw. Suppose the Cartesian mapper, as you are taking only x and y value, you have only two axes, then okay. The class containing two property and you can compare these two property, pass this value to your live chart. But if you are using Cartesian mapper and if you are trying to access three or more values, then obviously the Cartesian live chart unable to handle these three values, three to four values, because the live chart, Cartesian live chart only knows the two value x and y. You can use the weight also, but the comparison will done on only x and y axis. If you go for the pie chart, then you can use the three values comparison for the three values. But right now here I write some custom mapper with the by using the simple mapper with the double value. You can do this. See here, before I explaining logic and just explain what I done, I just take the values here on, sorry about this. scaling. See, I just take the values, whatever bar you want to select to change the color. Suppose you want to change the color for the 2, add here. Here 2 means here the axis. You just select the x-axis on what value you want to change the color. Add. I create one list. In that, added the numbers. Suppose I want to change one more color 4. Here, this is the list box. In that, I'm going to show here so that this is the transparency and on what basis we are going to change the color. Suppose take 7. 7. Add. Now, here one list is created. I just show the color code. Assume that you know the MVM pattern, how to handle this button click, how to handle this button click. Beyond this, just explaining the logic. Okay, see here, add to list. See, on this button click, I'm showing XAML file. This is the add button. On this button click, I bind the command add to the list. See here, add to the list. This is the command, and the command handler is there. Then I call the method create new list. I just mention this is the public list int, then selected item. Here I create a one list having type is integer. You can use it double also, because later when I convert it into a double. See, selected item dot add test is the variable. I just bind this test here to the text box. See here, test. So whatever value you enter here, consider as a test variable. Then once you click on this add button, then this add to list command is fired. Like here, add to list command is fired. Then this command add this test variable, whatever value we enter, into an selected item, that means the test list. And here I create one more list. It is the observable collection. This is the observable collection. Why? Because I just bind this list to the list box, so live changes reflected on this list box. Observable collection have the inbuilt property I notify change, but here I write custom one also. So once you add element, add to the list command, add element to the list, then this list box also reflect the same values, because id new list will also add here. We add this item into an to list, selected dot item test and id new dot add test. So in this way, we can show whatever data entered here, we bind it to the two list. One is the observable list and one is the simple list. In the observable list, bind to the this text box, sorry, list box, so that whatever value enter it show here. So, so once you click on the submit to change color, it's easy to verify what value we enter and the color change happened on same values or not, or something is wrong happened. Here we enter three values, 2, yes, 2 color change correctly, 4 color change correctly, 5 color 7, sorry, color change correctly. Okay, now see the main logic, submit to change color. Okay, so here is the submit to change color. Submit to change color, yes, this is the command. Okay, here we bind submit command to submit to change color this button. So submit command from the logic for the submit command. Submit command, here command handler is the add n records. Here we can you can name as a change color also. Here I define the variable integer j is equals to 0, ch is equals to 1, and find the length of your selected item.com. Selected item means whatever item entered here, we created two lists. First one is the observable collection and second one is the selected item list. What observable collection we bind to the list box so that live changes happen here will reflected here, and the selected item list contains this list same list. Now this list used to change the color actually. Here first initially we find the length of this. Once you find the length, here I show the length of new list is here. Okay, length of new list is here. Then I write a mapper, double mapper to change the color. Here is the syntax to write a mapper new. Actually mapper is used to set the universal rule to your live chart. Yeah, so universally define the x-axis as an index and y-axis as a value. Clear? Now fill. This is the main logic. How to fill this graph with the different color as per the logic. Here we can write the logic. Here I use j is equals to 0 as we initialize j initially 0. J is less than length. That is the length of your list. Okay, and j plus plus. Now let's check if I is equals to your selected item of j. Now here what is the value of I? Here v means value, this is the y value, and I means index. Okay, I means index means your x-axis. So here compare if x-axis is equal to selected item. Initially selected item of j is initially 0. Clear? So selected item of 0 means 0th position item. Here we enter 2, 4 and 7. So initially suppose we enter 2. So 0th position item is 2. It compare I is equals to 2. Initially I 0, so not, so it goes for the ch is equals to 1. Then write a switch case, ch is equals to 1. So that's why the color reflected as a red. Initially 0, so blank, 1, so red. And once the condition is true, then it make as a ch is equals to 0 and break. Does not continue with the loop. Break, then again come to the ch. Yes, ch is equals to 0, then return brush, then yellowish green. Here we use the yellowish green. So condition is true. Now for the second value, again it start from the first. Okay, first it this for loop, it check each and every element. That means now here we have 9 elements. So for loop is executed 9 times. Initially first, then second, then 4, up to the 9 times for each and every element. So in this way, once the condition is true, then it come to the yellowish green. If false, then we use here 1. That means red. Here is the default value. Right now we are not writing any code for the default value. Okay. So suppose we have n number of conditions. So in that case, we will go for the if, and suppose we have default value also, then we can go for the default value, case 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this way, we can execute and compare, change this color of graph. Okay. See, on internet everywhere you can search how to change the bar color or the color of graph with some conditions. You can get the mapper logic, but you cannot identify how to write this custom mapper. So this is the simplest way you can identify and write the custom mapper as per the requirement. Okay, so I will share the code also and also provide link to the GitLab or the GitHub so that you can easily download this code and modify as per your requirement or use as it is in your project. Okay guys, thank you. I just request you, if you like my video, then subscribe and press on the like icon. Okay, thank you.